This week, we celebrate Pokemon Day with a ton of news, including our first look at Pokemon Winds and Waves. Plus, Resident Evil Requiem scores are in, and I review FUR Squadron Phoenix on the Switch. We'll tell you all about that and more because this is Podcasting with Power. Welcome to Podcasting with Power, your weekly source for Nintendo and video game news, reviews, and deep dive discussions. I'm Zachary Davis, and right there is Jordan Carlson. And if you enjoy what we do, help us by tapping that subscribe button, leaving a comment, and following us on social media at PodWithPower. All the links you need are in the description below. Mr. Carlson, how are you doing on this glorious Pokemon Day?
Oh my God. This has been the best week in a long time.
Really?
I'm feeling, yeah, man, it's sunny. It's 54 degrees right now.
Nice. That's true. Yeah.
It's Pokemon Day. Got some good news. Resident Evil's come out.
It's out. Yeah.
We've got a new Arc Raiders update. Oh,
okay.
God.
Okay.
It's got a lot going on right now.
How are you going to make time for Arc Raiders with Resident Evil
loaded
on your Switch, which I want to talk about in a little bit, but
yeah,
we both have it loaded, ready to go on our Switch 2s. But yeah, how are you going to make time?
There probably won't be.
Okay, fair enough.
If we're being honest, probably there won't be any time. It's going to be all Arc Raiders. Oh my God. It's going to be fuck Resident Evil. It's going to be all Resident Evil for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Before I ask you any more about what we will be playing and what we have been playing, I want to give a little update. We have talked about not restructuring the show because we're essentially going to record it the same way, but we're going to change the way we deliver it to you a little bit. So currently we talk, right? Which is great. We have fun doing it. Sounds like some of you out there have some fun listening to it, but we want to make it a little more accessible. So what we're going to do is we are going to split the podcast up. Now, sit tight. You're still going to get the same amount of content every week, but we're going to put the news out this week section out on its own and then put our main topic out as a separate video. You know, it'll be on your YouTube feed. It'll be on your podcast feed, wherever you get the show. So like I said, same amount of content, but it will be a little easier for you to find the stuff you're looking for. And more importantly, not sit through the stuff you're not interested in, because we get it. We talk about a lot of stuff and you can't like it all. We don't like it all half the time. So hopefully this makes it a little easier for the content to be consumed.
And tell us if it sucks.
Yeah, definitely. Because we can go back to this or the way it was. That's not going away. We can still make that happen. But yeah, we're going to experiment with that for a little bit and see how that goes. That aside, what have you been playing up to this point this week? Because like we've talked about, it's Pokemon Day. There's some stuff out today for that. Resident Evil Requiem is now out. I don't think either of us have started that. So have you just been kind of laying low or have you been playing some stuff?
I've been laying low a little bit, but I've been waiting to, well, not waiting, but I was going to post this and it never happened. But I took a short clip of me arriving to the Tower of the Gods in Wind Waker.
Okay, very nice.
That I was going to share because I know that you also arrived to the Tower of the Gods.
Yeah.
So I haven't been doing a lot of sit down gaming this week. It's just been a little bit of like here and there. And I've been playing Wind Waker, and honestly, it's been nice. I feel like I shut my brain off every day and just play a little bit of it, relax a little bit and go to sleep. That's kind of been my week. It's been a little non-eventful. Truthfully, I think I just wanted to be well rested at the end of this week so that I'm ready for everything this weekend.
So I love that you've been playing Wind Waker because since we recorded last, it was the 40th anniversary of the Legend of Zelda series. We posted a little bit about that on our socials, but I also picked up Wind Waker on that day. You know, like you mentioned, I had started it a couple weeks ago. So picked up, did the Tower of the Gods, kind of just intended to do that. And the next thing I knew, Wind Temple or Temple, backwards order, but you know what I mean? They're both done. Yeah. And now I'm at the Triforce Shards portion of the game, which has to be the like quintessential spot where people stop playing a video game, right?
Definitely.
Where you just kind of get to and you're like, yeah, I'll get back to that another time,
no.
you know? Yeah. So I got to that and I was kind of like, okay, I'm good for a bit. Because I've done that loads of times.
Are you HD or GameCube version right now?
I've been playing the GameCube version on the Switch. So a lot
really
of handheld. Yeah.
You're in for it then. You're really in for it then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized it's been a long time since I've played the GameCube version specifically.
Yeah.
And it does look so good still. Like I think of the HD version being beautiful and all this stuff. And then, you know, the GameCube one must just not be, right? It must be older and just not as crisp and all that. But it looks pretty freaking good on the Switch too. I'm impressed.
It does. It does look way better on the Switch too. It wasn't long ago I plugged in my GameCube and was a little shocked at what I had seen. But no, the GameCube version on the Switch does a really good job. It does look really nice.
Yeah, they put the work in on that game back in the early 2000s. They really made it thick. We just couldn't see it yet. I have also picked up the Disney Afternoon Collection on the Switch too, which we had talked about a little bit. And it's funny. So, you know, you might recall last week I sang a little bit of the Goof Troop theme song to you, which turns out is not in that game, unfortunately.
It is not?
No, I looked for it. But when I went upstairs after that podcast, Collie was like, "What were you singing down there?" And I said the Goof Troop theme song, and I must have said Goof Troop in a funny way because since then she has been doing an imitation of Baby Billy from the Righteous Gemstones, saying Goof Troop, and like I know Goof Troop, and she's been saying that all week, which has been great.
Dude, Baby Billy's Bible Bunkers.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I picked up that collection, ran through DuckTales because you got to. It's the GOAT, which is still great. Plays awesome on Switch, of course. And then I did try Goof Troop. I played the first 2 levels of Goof Troop last night, and it's all right. It's I'm not playing it multiplayer, which is of course the way you're supposed to play that game. I get that. But it's cool. The puzzles are fine. It's
the with the music that like instrument from the keyboard that they use.
Yeah.
Like like I don't know how to describe that tone. Mm-hmm. It does bother me after a while.
Yes, the music in that game is a little grating, I will say. Yeah. That's the biggest reason why I put it down. I could have played more of it, but I was like, I got to take a little break from Goof Troop. But there's only 5 levels, so I'll probably knock that out. Yeah, in another session or 2. So, but yeah, cool game, cool collection so far. It, for those that don't know, like it's really cool. It's got a lot of concept art. It's got like original character sheets from Disney that the devs were sent, before they made those games. There's high res photos of like all the box art. So it's got the NES, the Japanese, the Game Boy versions for the games that have those. Like it's very cool. So very nice little collection there. Physical edition is not out yet, but it's going to have like stickers and little things in there too that you can mess around with. So yeah, that's neat. I have 8 Nintendo news stories for you this week, and spoiler alert, it's a lot of Pokemon. So hopefully that is okay with you. Let's dive right in. Oh, whoa. Whoa. All right. Pokemon League, for audio listeners, Jordan, of course, has just donned the Pokemon League Ash Ketchum
Let's
hat.
go.
Yeah. Indigo League. That's dope. I've got a little Squirtle, little Pixel Squirtle in my hat here. So yeah, we're repping the Pokemon today. Story number 1, Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen officially revealed for Switch. This is by Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life. Nintendo has seemingly revealed Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen for the Switch earlier than planned, as a whole bunch of eShop listings are now live on the eShop. Of course, by the time you're hearing this, it's out, but yeah, we were surprised to find that it was just suddenly on the eShop last week. And I texted you, I was like, this doesn't seem right. These are priced at $19.99 each, with a launch date of February 27th, Pokemon Day. And this release has bypassed Nintendo Switch Online entirely, meaning you can own the games digitally a la carte. Skipping forward. Releasing FireRed and LeafGreen is a pretty big move to acknowledge Pokemon's 30th anniversary, much like the launch of classic titles on the 3DS 10 years ago for the 20th celebrations. Each language version of the game is available as a separate download, so beware if you're pre-ordering on the eShop and get the language you want. Now, of course, with any Pokemon release and Nintendo in general, there's going to be some controversy, right? Yeah. And so Nintendo has already taken a stab at that. So here's a follow-up article by Gavin Lane at Nintendo Life called "We Thought It Would Be Fun. Nintendo explains why Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen aren't on Switch Online." The news that the Game Boy Advance Gen 1 refreshes, Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, are coming to Switch next week has gotten us excited this morning, but it's also raised some questions with fans. How come these games aren't coming to Nintendo Switch Online like the other Game Boy Advance games in the expansion pack? Will I be able to trade? Will we see more Virtual Console style releases like this? Well, preempting all those questions, Nintendo of America has put out an FAQ answering those and more. On the question of why these GBA games are being handled differently from others, the article says, "In celebration of 30 years of Pokemon, we thought it would be fun to return to the ultimate versions of the original Pokemon adventures in the Kanto region with these special releases." They've also addressed the following, quote, "Online play is not supported." Quote, "The games will not receive physical releases," which is kind of true, kind of not. We'll get to that in a second. Quote, we have nothing to announce regarding any other potential titles, whether Red, Blue, or other Pokemon games may come to NSO in the future, and we remain focused on offering classic games through the Nintendo Switch Online. This is regarding if future standalone retro releases are planned, Pokemon or not. And we thought users will appreciate the ultimate versions of those original adventures as to why these are not Red and Blue, why they started with these. Support for Pokemon Home is confirmed to be on the way, and these games won't work with the NSO save backup cloud thing that you can do with a lot of games, but not Pokemon games on the Switch. And then finally, Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen are getting a stunning special edition release in Japan. This is by Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. And if you haven't looked at this, Jordan, you should, because it's pretty cool looking. Okay. Where are we going? Okay. Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen are on the way, and Japan is getting a special edition physical release as well. We use physical hesitantly there because it seems that this boxed release is still reliant on its included download code if you actually want to, play the game. That said, this collection is a beauty. The special edition includes 2 reproductions of the original Game Boy Advance cases and a rather swanky trio of laser-engraved glass balls with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle inside. Putting these balls on their respective stand in the included display case lets them light up in a fitting green, red, and blue hue. This release will be available from the Japanese Pokemon Center online stores from February 28th. And they have hinted that they might be available in physical Pokemon Centers at a later date. Nothing yet on if they are coming to the West, but we'll have to sit tight. So obviously a lot of info there about games that are over 20 years old. My first question to you, are you going to pick up Pokemon FireRed or LeafGreen on the Switch?
Man, I actually thought about it.
Okay.
And I don't know.
Okay.
I'm so tempted, and I think it's just because of the ease of playing it handheld and then putting it in my dock and playing on the TV.
Yeah.
But then I just think to myself, like, if I'm being honest with myself, am I going to play this on the TV? Like, will I really do it?
Okay, interesting. Okay.
And I don't know. I mean, like, I have the analog pocket, and I could just as easily do that.
Yeah.
And I don't. So I don't have the need. I already have LeafGreen and FireRed, so I don't really need to do it. But for some reason, I feel drawn because I have to collect it digitally for some stupid reason.
Right.
Yeah.
So I did pick this up, and I did start it before we jumped online here today. Didn't get super far, just up to Viridian Forest. And I gotta say, man, those colors, they pop. They look
really
good. Yeah. I mean, it is a fairly bare bones port, right? No remappable controls, no visual options, no anything. It's the game and it's there. But it's a great game. I do like FireRed and LeafGreen quite a bit. As much as I love Red and Blue, we grew up with those. This is a great way to play them. Do you think it's interesting that Nintendo chose to start with these? Because we haven't seen Nintendo just straight up put ports on the eShop like this. And so it's a little odd that they're, because this has been rumored for a while. And I think we both just kind of thought, no, there's no way they're doing that.
It's super weird. I kind of agree with, everybody who's saying that we'll probably see red, blue, and yellow on the NSO.
Okay.
So I'm wondering, like, because maybe definitely these are more enticing options. Like, I mean, these are the options that actually every ROM hack is ever based on. Like FireRed is like the one to use, and LeafGreen, obviously. So I mean, there's no doubt that they knew that these would be hits.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why they're a la carte. I don't love or agree with it being a la carte like this. I would rather them be lumped in.
Okay.
Well, I'd rather them be lumped in if that's how it's going to be. I like to buy things and have them on my screen.
Yeah, it is cool having that Venusaur icon on my Switch home screen right now. I
would rather just boot into it, not have to go like into a submenu and pick it. I've always been more of a fan of that, but I don't know, man. It is weird. I also get super weird about inconsistencies though. Like I don't love when things don't make perfect sense.
Okay, sure.
So like that, it does bother me how it's working or how it's set up. But I don't know, man. Like at the same time, I don't really give a shit. Like it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah. I mean, it would be nice if it was in the subscription we both already pay for.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people have a problem with the price, $20.
Yeah.
I mean, I would love it to be less, but like at the same time, I kind of get it. No one's talking about the fact that it is the same markup as Red and Blue were on the 3DS. Game Boy Virtual Console games on the 3DS were like $4 for the most part. Those games were 10. So, 2.5 times. This is the same thing. Virtual Console Game Boy Advance games were $8. 2.5 times is 20. So, I mean, Nintendo was using that same markup from a decade ago to come up with the price of these. Now, I like that it has Pokemon Home support. I think that's cool. I wish that these games could have backups because I get that they're really worried about duplicating Pokemon. But if there is one franchise that I want to make sure my save is there and nothing happens to it, it's this. And it drives me crazy that I can't back that up in any way.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's just not a way for them to prevent you from save scumming and doing all that stuff on the classic apps. And that's what they're worried about. But yeah, I don't know. But Nintendo has this attitude where it's like, I'm sure they looked at, we want to put something out for the 30th anniversary, right? Well, we can't start with Red and Blue. We already did that. That's how they look at things. They go, yeah, we did that 10 years ago on a different platform that you can't buy anymore. It's just, no one wants that. It's like, yeah, we do. We do want that. You took that holy shop down. But yeah, so we got these. I assume the next thing we would get would be Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald. Because it's, fairly similar engine and all that stuff. So
yeah,
that's kind of what I expect next. But yeah, I would love the Game Boy and Game Boy Color games.
Yeah, I would too. But if we're being honest, like those are really fun. It is super fun going back to those. It's but playing FireRed and LeafGreen though, it's pretty cool. We're doing that.
So spoiler alert for later, but I Squirtle. I like Squirtle quite a bit. And Bulbasaur too. Charmander is probably my least favorite of the 3 Kanto starters.
Oh.
But I kind of subverted things a little bit and I started with Charmander. I thought, I never do this. I don't think I ever did with my original copy of Leaf Green. I definitely did in Gen 1 and all that stuff. But I was like, yeah, I want to play through this with Charizard. I want to see how that goes. So
yeah, that's
what I did, kind of mixing things up a little bit. And I'm going to try to do that with my team as much as I can. I don't want to use the same ones I always gravitate to.
They have those like little vinyl figures that you always see for $20.
Sure.
So Amanda surprised me on Valentine's Day. She got me the Charmander.
Okay.
With some Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Okay. Hell yeah.
So like I came out, in the morning and saw those on the dining room table.
Yeah.
And I was like, no way. And it's way cooler than I like kind of imagined. Like,
oh, that's really nice.
Yeah. Like it's pretty cool. So now I want all 3 of them. Okay. And like it's like pretty substantial.
Yeah. That looks very nice. Yeah. It's a very detailed sturdy looking Charmander.
Yeah. So I want to get all three, but I have them sitting on top of my Game Boys over there.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, oh, yeah.
I'll fix them later.
Moving on to story number 2. Game Boy shaped Pokemon soundtrack player announced. This is by Brian Shea at Game Informer. To kick off today's Pokemon Presents live stream, the Pokemon Company announced a Game Boy shaped device with swappable cartridges that plays the soundtracks for Pokemon Red and Blue. Each cartridge contains a different song from the soundtrack, as well as an image that slots into the Game Boy's replica display screen to coincide with the audio action. The device contains 45 cartridges to match with the 45 songs included with the purchase. Quote, "We took particular care to make the audio sound just like Game Boy, so I hope you enjoy listening while swapping out cartridges," Pokemon Red and Blue composer Junichi Masuda said on the stream. The Pokemon Red and Blue Game Boy Jukebox is available starting today through the Pokemon Center. Now, I gotta say, if ever a product was designed for you, I feel like it was this. I saw this and thought, you gotta be all over this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very cool. For those that can't see it on screen here, it looks like a little Game Boy. Which got me very excited when they started showing this. I was like, what are we doing here? I like it for what it is, though.
But you know what that reminds me of?
Hit clips, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of very hit clips.
Dude, immediately I'm like, no fucking way. Like, we're right back to hit clips. I had to Google it so I can look at a couple of hit clips here. You cannot tell me they did not think of it. Like, they were like, you guys remember, like, whoever pitched it, they went into a room and the guy was like, you guys remember hit clips?
Well, they know, right? Shit. This is the 30th anniversary. What else was popular 30 years ago? You know, the same kids that were buying these original Pokemon games were buying hit clips. So it makes some sense.
I mean, you see these videos online, people will show like a keychain just full of hit clips. I was never like that.
Okay.
But like I remember getting them, and I mean, you look back though, like, what a fucking ripoff, dude.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even get the whole song. It's just a little clip of the song.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta make money, right?
Oh my gosh, man. But yeah, no, it's pretty cool for what it is. I'll have to collect that, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got a lot of the original game soundtrack in this Pokemon Presents, in a lot of different ways. So I like that they're acknowledging that that's, you know, a big reason why we like these games so much.
Yeah. Yep.
Story number 3, Pokemon's big Switch and mobile battle game Champions finally has a release date. This is by Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. The Nintendo Switch version of Pokemon Champions will release in April, the Pokemon Company said in a live stream on Friday, followed by the mobile release later this year. Players will be able to transfer Pokemon caught in the Nintendo Switch versions of FireRed and LeafGreen via Pokemon Home. Pokemon Champions is focused on the competitive side of Pokemon battling. The game will also be used during the Pokemon World Championships 2026, replacing Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. When Pokemon Champions was announced last year, the Pokemon Company said players would be able to transfer their Pokemon from Pokemon Home. While a complete list of compatible games wasn't announced, both console games, such as Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and mobile games like Pokemon Home were referenced, suggesting that the vast majority of currently available Pokemon will be usable in this game. Quote, Pokemon Champions could be the biggest thing to happen to the competitive Pokemon scene, VGC wrote in a recent preview. Pokemon Champions promises to teach players the competitive side of Pokemon battles, but it also aims to be the home for serious players and official Pokemon events going forward. So this is kind of exciting. I don't know if you've been following Pokemon Champions, if you have interest in it, but it's definitely a way for people to engage with, I think, the thing people associate most with the Pokemon games without having to do all the RPG stuff that maybe you don't want to do anymore. Yeah. So yeah, this is, I don't know. I'm willing to check it out. But you know, I'm always a little weary of mobile games, mobile first games.
Yeah,
so,
I've never been big on those. So
yeah, but hey, it gives me another reason to grind my leaf green Pokemon because
there we go.
You know, use them here. And then story number 4, I actually just have a bunch of Pokemon Day quick headlines for you. These are things that either we didn't get enough information to make a news story out of, or I just thought, you know, weren't big enough to do that. So first up, we briefly mentioned this. Pokemon World Championships and Pokemon XP, a new fan experience, will take place in San Francisco. They will feature Pokemon Champions for the first time at the video game competition, Pokemon Trading Card Game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite. This takes place August 28th through 30th. The Pokemon trading card game will release a new set celebrating 30 years of Pokemon. This was interesting. They showed a lot of different cards from throughout the years. So I don't know if we're literally going to get those cards. You know, they showed like the base set Charizard from back in the day and all that. So I don't know necessarily what that entails, but something to look forward to. Those releases will begin in October worldwide, with more products releasing at a later date. Pokemon Go is celebrating its 10th anniversary with a huge range of Pokemon that have previously appeared in the game returning to it. 30th anniversary all-out event is taking place March 7th through 9th. Can you believe Pokemon Go is 10 years old?
I know.
I saw that logo and I was like, oh my God. But yeah, that was the 20th anniversary. We were getting excited for Pokemon Go. Where are we at? Red, the protagonist from the original Game Boy games, and his Pikachu are joining Pokemon Masters EX in their classic 1996 look, as are Florian and Ogerpon and Julian and Terrapagos. I have never played Pokemon Masters EX. I was a little hype when I saw Red, especially in that, Sugimori 96 style that we've talked about so much on this show. But yeah, I don't know if this will move the needle for me. Speaking of not moving the needle, Pokemon Cafe Remix is hosting an event featuring all of the starter Pokemon in the series, with the first wave featuring Kanto's Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. In a similar vein, new missions are coming to Pokemon Sleep, featuring Mew. Still never tried Pokemon Sleep.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, are you a Pokemon Sleep man?
No, I can't say I've ever Pokemon slept.
Okay.
Pokemon Sleep. Let me look at that. Oh, yes, I remember.
There's no
never gave that a rip.
Yeah. So I don't know. At some point, maybe I'll have to. No, I won't. Let's be real. I'm not going to try Pokemon Sleep.
Dude, I like the rest your very best.
Yeah. They market it very well. I will say.
Never done.
Like I'm interested in it based on the marketing, but then I think about the product for more than a few seconds. Think I don't need that.
So
Arcuno, Zapdos, and Moltres are headed to Pokemon Unite, with Meganium, Typhlosion, and Feraligatr coming later. The next set is now available in Pokemon TCG Pocket for your mobile devices. This is called Paldean Wonders and features Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness is joining Nintendo Switch Online's GameCube Classics in March. Cannot connect with Pokemon FireRed and LeafGreen, even though they originally could back in the day. Mega Garchomp Z, spelled that wrong, is available now for Pokemon Legends ZA owners that also have the Mega Dimension DLC. This event is tied to a mystery gift you can access right now. And finally, Pokemon Pokopia introduces DJ Rotom, a music player with tracks spanning the length of the series, and Chef Dente, a ingredient that will teach you how to cook a variety of dishes to satisfy the cravings of your Pokemon pals. We also saw 4-player multiplayer sessions similar to Animal Crossing's multiplayer mode. So, I mean, I know the answer to this, but none of these smaller headlines are probably moving the needle for you. Am I correct in assuming that?
Yep. You're right.
I mean, the cards, we'll see what the new TCG set is, celebrating 30 years of Pokemon. That could be interesting.
Oh, and, no, 100%. If there's a box for that, I'll be buying that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm interested in Gale of Darkness on the GameCube. I have Pokemon Coliseum, and I've played the story mode of that. Never played this one. It's like the only
one of the best ones, isn't it?
I people really like it, from what I understand. It's it's another story focused RPG for the GameCube, which we didn't get a lot of Pokemon RPGs for consoles back then. That's been mostly a Switch thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give it a go.
Yeah, weird that it's coming before Coliseum.
Yeah,
right. That they announced both of those when they announced the classic service originally, and now that's just MIA, and now we know this one's coming.
I know we need some more solid Nintendo sports games out there.
Yeah, it's a little odd. Okay, and then finally, well, not finally, we got more news stories, but wrapping up Pokemon Day, story number 5. Pokemon Winds and Waves announced for Switch 2 launching next year. This is by Jim Norman at Nintendo Life. The Pokemon Company wrapped up today's presents with the reveal of Pokemon Winds and Waves, the new mainline game in the series. We don't have anything specific on the release date front at this moment, though the Pokemon Company confirmed that the games will receive a global simultaneous release at some point in 2027. Devastating my fantasy critic that hinged on this game coming out this year. This was more than we expected for a first peek. Aside from some panning shots of the new region, complete with its fair share of watery areas, the trailer also introduced the game's 3 starters, Brout, Pombon, and Gekwa. I'm a Brout stan. We'll talk about those in a moment here.
Okay.
There was also the tease of underwater exploration and Pikachu in some rather swanky summer outfits. They are characters in their own right called Mr. Windy Chew and Miss Wavy Chew. Yeah, that's real. Here's a bit more info about the upcoming title's region and differences from the Pokemon Company. Developed by Game Freak exclusively for Nintendo Switch 2, these new titles feature an open world to explore, a beautiful windswept island, and a vast ocean with glittering waves. The Pokemon that live in harmony with this region's lush environments have developed their own unique ecosystems. During this adventure, you'll team up with all kinds of Pokemon to overcome both the difficult road ahead and even the forces of nature that block your path at times. Your main character will sport a different outfit depending on which version of the game you play. And of course, you'll set out with one of 3 partner Pokemon. Will you choose a grass type by partnering with Brout, the lively but clumsy Bean Chick Pokemon? Or perhaps you'll heat things up with a fire type by picking Pombon, the guileless and friendly puppy Pokemon. If water types are more your speed, then the intelligent water gecko Pokemon Gekwa might be the partner for you. The best news, of course, is that these actually appear to be running pretty well. The environments are a little sparse at the moment, but the promise of all those different biomes, the exclusive mention of Switch 2, and the fact that there's still another year of development time for Game Freak to tinker away leaves us cautiously optimistic. So this leaked a while back. We talked about the leaks. I felt like this trailer showed a lot of more, though, than what was leaked. How do you feel about Winds and Waves?
Wow. Wow.
Hey, I agree. Looks beautiful.
Beautiful. The water. I mean, we talked about,
it's no Wave Race Blue Storm, but
some Wave Race Blue Storm, but my God. Did you say this ain't Wave Race Blue Storm?
This ain't Wave Race.
Take it easy. This ain't Wave Race.
It does. It looks great.
No, it looks fantastic. Yeah, so I remember the original screenshots we had seen. You could see a little bit of those God rays coming through. You know,
could, yeah.
The gold.
That's right.
And now I'm seeing not the promise of that. I'm seeing a glimpse of what could be with that. And this is what we want. This is what we've wanted. What everyone's wanted. So, I mean, this could be really something. And it showed the, she was catching a Pokemon, throwing the Pokeball.
Mm-hmm.
So we like that.
Yeah.
I'm curious what the battle mechanics would be like. I'm actually hoping they keep the ZA battle mechanics. I like that.
I think it'll be an evolved version of that. I do. I agree.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's very cool.
Where are you at on starters? Because I think this is the first time I've liked all 3 in a very long time.
I'd have to agree. I'd be Gekwa or Pombon. Pombon?
Yeah, that one's a little tough to say. So is Gekwa, I think. Although the more I say it, the more natural it's coming. But
Gekwa's pretty sweet.
Grout is my guy.
Grout?
Look at that angry little bird. Yeah,
like Grout, like I think of the bathroom floor Grout. Bathroom. Sure. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Bean guy?
Bean chick. Yeah.
Bean chick.
Yeah, whatever that is.
Yeah, dude.
We'll have to see what these evolve into and all that stuff. But I like all 3 so far. So,
I can't remember which Pokemon game. I was listening to this other podcast. They were talking about or something. I can't remember where I heard this. I heard this somewhere online. This guy was telling stories. He was like, I buy Pokemon cartridges for fun. And he's like, I like to see where people left off on their adventure. Yeah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Do you remember the starter they were referencing?
Well, I think it was the same one I did because I picked Quaxley in Violet, the little duck. And then by the time you get to, I don't even remember what its final form is called, but I was like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, they're like, and there goes little Scott or whoever, adventuring along, having a good old time. And then what is it? They notice he evolves and they're like, Scott went missing. Scott's done. Scott's like, what did this thing turn into?
Yeah.
He was
that's very much how I felt. I kept it on my team, but man, I did not like that thing. I didn't like watching it fight. I didn't like any of that stuff. So I'm very excited for Winds and Waves. I don't know which version I'm going to get because usually I like whatever the cooler color is, right? I'm a blue guy. I'm a silver guy, etc.
Cooler color. Wow. Blue?
Well, we got warms and we got our cools, right?
Oh, you're talking.
Like color temperature.
I see.
But these logos, we got blue and we got teal. What am I going to do?
Oh my God. They're both so cool.
Yeah, I know.
You would go teal, right? Teal?
I don't know. I think with this one, because they're both so cool, I want to see who's on the box. I because there's certain legendaries I don't like Palkia on Pearl. No way was I getting that. Because before that, it was always I'm getting the second version, blue, silver, sapphire. But then with Diamond and Pearl, I was like, no, I'm not touching that thing. So I got Diamond. Which again,
you want to know how I know which one I'm going with?
How's that?
I'm going with Waves.
Okay.
And here's why. Do you see the hats they're wearing?
Okay. Yeah. Fair.
I'm going to go baseball cap here. I'm not going strange, weird fedora hat. Okay. They put me in a fedora and ZA. I'm out.
That's right.
We'll
have to see how customizable that is, but they do mention that they are different based on which game you're playing.
I know they did say the outfits. Yeah. I'm mostly kidding, but probably Waves. I like something about that logo gets me. I'm usually a green guy though.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm usually between the wind and the water. I would gravitate towards water, but I don't know.
See, I'd go wind. Yeah, it's weird.
Okay. Well, we'll have to see what we finally choose, but not until 2027. That's another interesting one. Yeah. So that leaves a big hole in the Switch 2's holiday lineup, right? We kind of expected it for this fall, and now it's not there. So what fills that void?
God, dude, I don't know, man.
The more and more we march on and things are, the dominoes are falling as they do. I think you were right. I think the big man is making an appearance this fall.
Big man's coming.
I think Mario is coming back. The big man in red. Yeah.
Big man in red. He's coming to town. Yeah.
Yeah. We're not talking Santa. We're talking Super Mario.
No, not Santa Claus.
He's doing something this year. I don't know what he's doing yet. If he's doing another galaxy, who knows? But I think he's back.
He's sneaking around back there. He's ready to come out.
But
what about the man in green? Is the man in green coming out?
I don't know. He's always around, but like I think it's the kind of big Mario game that he's not in a lot.
Look, man, we didn't hear shit. We didn't hear fucking shit for the 40th.
Yeah, I don't know. I think honestly, capitalizing on the movie is more important to them than celebrating,
dude,
that anniversary. I really
hurts. Yeah. Though, like we didn't.
Oh, you're talking about that man in green. I'm sorry. I'm confused. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Luigi.
Oh no,
the other man in green, Link. And nothing. No 40th anniversary info. I don't know. I didn't expect an announcement on the day.
No, but like a happy anniversary.
Oh no, they're not acknowledging that.
Something. I mean, for fuck's sake, 40?
Yeah, it's a big deal.
It is a big deal. When I turned 40, fuck.
No, nothing.
I mean,
get a tweet out of me.
Maybe. I mean, maybe I will be a little ashamed. I don't know, but I just can't believe nothing. Like, I don't know. It's a bummer. It's a little bit of a bummer, and I. The more time that goes by, the more I'm wondering, like, is this just like them? Because like you got to cut the cord, right? Eventually, you can't every 10 years. Like, you're telling me in 30 years we're still going to be like Zelda's 80th. I mean, like I kind of hope so, but like,
hopefully we're getting something.
At the same time, though, I'm also thinking like, does everybody still care? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I mean, I do think the time is right for Zelda something this year. We've talked about that. I do feel, is it going to line up the way it did in 2011 for the 25th, which we got Skyward Sword and a remake of Ocarina of Time on the 3DS. Yeah, that's pretty solid. And we got Four Swords Anniversary on the DSi shop. Do you think the man in red, is he enough? It's February right now. We don't have a lot for this year. We don't, and the stuff we do know is we've talked about again, is mostly front loaded.
Yeah.
We don't have a date for Fire Emblem. We don't have a date for Splatoon. Mm-hmm. We can assume maybe those are in the back half of the year, but those aren't the heavy hitters. Those are good support games. They round out the lineup, but yeah, they can't carry a holiday season. And you're right. Maybe we need a little more than Mario.
So does this mean, with them being completely radio silent on the Zelda 40th, does this mean we see something different? Something maybe unexpected? Does a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess do what we needed to do, would they have said something if that was the thing?
Yeah, that is interesting, right? Because if it is that, which is, I understand it's effort, but it's lower effort than a new game.
Yeah.
Then yeah, why all the secrecy?
And I'm not suggesting another Tears of the Kingdom level
no
thing, but like maybe it's something else. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we're overdue for a direct, and I do think Zelda's got to be there in some capacity. Yeah. So we'll keep an eye out for that. But that is the last of the Pokemon Day news. Overall, how are you feeling about Pokemon Day?
Winds and Waves really carried it for me personally.
Sure.
The Game Boy thing, like we said, it's pretty cool. I'm not dying for it. The other news, it's something. I think that a lot of big flagship Pokemon fans, because there's bigger fans than me, and especially with Pokemon, absolutely. I love Pokemon, but I'm not going to go and say I'm this diehard that's really diving into every avenue that Pokemon offers.
Okay. Yeah.
But I do just love Pokemon, and I love the games, and I love to dabble in the cards. But I have to say, Winds and Waves carried it for me. Leaf Green and Fire Red, very cool. Glad it's there, but I was hoping for maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I do think if maybe they were able to keep the surprise of Fire Red and Leaf Green, that would have hit a little harder.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. It's Pokemon is such a big franchise that it's just the nature of it. There's so much there that isn't for us. The Pokemon Sleeps and the Cafe remix and all that stuff. That I am kind of just in it for the mainline games, maybe a spinoff here and there. But
do you feel like I feel like they gave us a gift basket with a bunch of bullshit in it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like with Winds and Waves tucked in the top, like a little Easter basket where it's like, here's a keychain, here's some socks.
Right.
And we're like, cool, Pokemon Sleep, yeah. But
like that is enough, I think.
Do you think they could have been like, and by the way, so obviously we have, what is it? Gales of Darkness, Bagpipes of Freedom. I don't know. Like whatever the
second one. Yeah.
They could have maybe like just a little more to tip the scale. Could have been like, and by the way, silver and gold on the Game Boy Color on the eShop coming.
That would have been the other thing. If they could have, and again, I personally think it's Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but if they were like later this year, you're getting those. Like,
yeah,
that would have sweetened the deal and kind of made up for the fact that Fire Red and Leaf Green were maybe unveiled a little too early.
So like maybe those who are like, all right, Fire Red, Leaf Green, like blah blah, these could have been on the service. They could have been like, oh, later in the year we'll get some on the service. Yeah,
you're right. That would have mitigated that. I agree.
So I think that's what would have done it for me, I think. But
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it's so big. It's in the same way we're both Spider-Man fans. But we don't consume everything Spider-Man that comes out, right? We can't. Right. There's kids shows. There's a ton of comics, every month. There's several different lines. We're at this point in our lives, I think we're there for the big live action movies and the Spider-Verse movies too. Yeah. The games. But yeah, that's kind of few and far between.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We still like Spidey.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, moving away from the Pokemon news, story number 6. Fans are asking Nintendo to refund Xenoblade Chronicles X Switch 2 upgrade. This is by Alana Higgs at Nintendo Life. Color is surprised and delighted when Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition Nintendo Switch 2 Edition dropped last week. Silky smooth 60 FPS with updated textures and resolutions. Count us in. And while initially we were in awe of how Mira looked on the newest Nintendo console, as time has gone on and as fans have been digging into the update, some are disappointed, reportedly asking Nintendo to refund their $5. The problems are largely related to handheld play, where fans speculate that a filter or upscaler has been used to improve the textures, but it hasn't really worked in some cases, with some saying that the game looks worse than the Switch 1 version. Some shimmering and texture issues have been highlighted throughout, both in docked and handheld, though the latter is much more prominent. Switch Up spotted some shimmering on character and enemy shadows. Depending on how sensitive you are to some of this, you might not notice too many issues, but there are some here and many aren't happy. Over on Reddit, some have managed to snag a refund, with others claiming the Switch 2 edition looks worse than the Wii U version. We wouldn't go that far, and I wouldn't go that far, But we think the game looks and runs beautifully for the most part, but it's clear people are unhappy. So, okay. Yeah, Digital Foundry calling this the worst Nintendo Switch 2 edition so far. I did snag this and booted it up. It's been a long time since I played it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
I don't think it looks worse. It didn't maybe look as good as I thought it should, or I remembered it looking. And I have not played the Switch 1 version because I bought it and then just held on until this upgrade came out. So I don't actually know what that version looks like. I don't know. I hope they fix this. They got to, right?
I mean, you got to have some real problems for for people to be like, give me my $5 back.
Well, and for Nintendo to do it, that's because Nintendo doesn't do that shit.
No,
they're like, no, too bad,
dude. They're like turn the anti-aliasing up a little bit.
Yeah,
and like. That sucks, man. Like that really does. This is the kind of shit that it's hard to stick up for Nintendo for. Like this is the stuff. So like I feel like you and I take a lot of beatings for loving Nintendo all the time for some reason.
Yeah.
Because we're on a Nintendo podcast. People are like, what the fuck? Right. But like this is the kind of shit that I'm like, God bless.
I know, and it's not the kind of thing I would expect from Monolith. They
deliver.
Push the Switch hardware, as far as anybody can. And so I'm a little bummed to see that it had to be this one. Yeah. But I guess if you're Nintendo, you're kind of glad it's this one, right? Because this is not your Mario or Animal Crossing or Kirby.
Oh my God.
They're like, okay, yeah. We pissed off 50 people, no big deal. Like,
Oh, no.
Let's be real. So this game's on my back burner right now. Until maybe there's some free time to jump in, but I'm hoping maybe they fix this issue. But I have to admit, I didn't really have such a problem with it. Like I said, I think with my rose tinted nostalgia glasses, I was expecting it to look better than it did, but I wasn't like mad at it,
Yeah.
So,
well, yeah. I can. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Story number 7. I have a Resident Evil Requiem review roundup. I go over to OpenCritic, where it is sitting at an 88 out of 100 currently. And I'm going to start with a little blurb about the Switch 2 version specifically. This is by Ollie Reynolds at Nintendo Life, who gave it a 9 out of 10. Resident Evil Requiem sets a new benchmark for the series and has been for a series that has been consistently great for the last decade or so. By combining classic survival horror with the more action-focused gameplay of RE4, the result is an experience paced to perfection. Add in a lore-heavy narrative and copious Easter eggs, and you've got what might be the ultimate expression of Resident Evil. There are a few minor visual hiccups along with some inconsistency in frame rate during busier moments, but the fact that we've got a brand new flagship Resident Evil game running well on Switch 2 should be celebrated. The lack of Mercenaries mode feels like a missed opportunity, but I've got my fingers crossed that it eventually shows up. And the great reviews just keep coming in. Let's see. Ellie Gould at PC Gamer gave it a 92 out of 100. Resident Evil Requiem sets itself out with a hard task wrapping all the best elements of previous RE games into one. Miraculously, it succeeds with few moments which left me wanting more. You bought this game on your Switch, and you've been talking for months about how you probably weren't going to go that route. What made you do it? Because it looks like you did it right before the show, too.
I did.
Right? Yeah.
Now, It's not going to be what you expect.
Oh, no.
I bought it twice.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Now, here's the thing. So if you can recall, which I know you will, Amanda played Biohazard.
Okay, yeah.
Wasn't a fan because of the first person. She is not a huge first person.
Sure.
fan.
And that one is locked first person. You're right.
Yeah. Requiem has third person.
Yeah.
So we'd been talking. She's like, is there like a casual mode? And there is.
Yeah.
So we were thinking, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to play on PC. I've got my Legion, so I could play handheld if I wanted to. And of course, the Nintendo Switch, you can do the same. So she's actually going to play it on casual on the Switch, and I can play it on PC. But I was thinking, because like I showed you, I got the anniversary collection because it's just what a good deal,
Yeah.
So I got the anniversary collection. That way I got Village and Biohazard also. And I can see how that game performs, and she's going to play it.
Very nice. Very nice. And I believe Village also lets you play third person, right?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But still very cool. Yeah, I bought the generation pack as well, and I am itching to start it. I was so happy to read the Switch specific reviews for this.
Yeah.
When those came out earlier in the week, and I was impressed. I texted you that the Switch 2 version was actually higher than the PS5 version on Metacritic at that point in time. It's incredible. I'm so stoked for this. Yes, and it sounds like both kinds of gameplay are very balanced here. Mm-hmm. So you're going to get the, if you liked Village and Biohazard, you're going to get more of that. If you like, Resident Evil 4, you're going to get that. So yeah, very excited for this one. I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about it next week.
Definitely. I might stream it.
Okay.
Either stream it or I'm going to record it, or I'll just enjoy it on my couch. I don't really know what I'm going to do.
There you go. Yeah,
we'll see.
So, okay. So for story number 8, I am going to review a little game called FUR Squadron Phoenix, which I was lucky enough to receive a code from Raptor Claw, the developer, for, and this is a indie Star Fox 64 right? Like it very clearly is going after that Star Fox 64 vibe.
Yeah.
And I think it nails it. This is a sequel. Well, it's a prequel, actually, to FUR Squadron, which is also available on the Switch. And I haven't played that game, so I can't speak to that one. This is my only experience. But overall, I do feel like it nails it. It maybe helps that Nintendo doesn't want to do anything with Star Fox right now. And so you don't get a ton of games like that. But I think this game, they know what makes that work, and they've built those systems to work the way you expect. But I want to highlight too just how much it does differently from Star Fox 64.
Okay.
Because it has, a whole like roguelite system to it. So unfortunately, there's not as many levels, and there's not branching paths the way there are on Star Fox, but you got 8 levels, and some of them are your main story missions where you're like actually out there in the field, and then some of them are simulation missions that the Slippy like character named Axel, who's an axolotl, has created. And while you're doing that, you're racking up points and you're spending those on upgrades. So some of those are really long and tough, and there were some I did over and over and over again. There was one in particular that I had a really hard time with. But what's nice is because I'm racking up those points, then I go back, I upgrade my ship the way I want to, better shields, weapons, the special weapons, all that stuff. And then I go back and you kind of see how that performs, and you do a little better. And it's a nice way to kind of build the game out the way you want it to. And at the same time, you're also, and I hope the next Star Fox does this, you are developing your relationships with the other 3 pilots as you're doing these missions. So if you know how in Star Fox, like Slippy will fly ahead of you and be like, I'm under attack, and you can save them or not, and there's consequences for that. The way this game does it, if you choose to do that, then afterwards your level with that character will go up, and they'll have a little dialogue between them. And that gives you a bonus for your overdrive, which is kind of like a super thing that you charge up as you go. Okay. So one of them, you level up, it like increases the amount of health you get back when you do that. Another one increases the damage, stuff like that. So they incentivize you to help your friends, at least to a point until you max it out. It does have a variety of special weapons, so it's not just the bomb like it is in Star Fox. You've got that kind of missile, but you've also got a nuke that takes out everything on screen. You've got a laser, like a solid laser that you can move around, and I found that really useful for bosses. That was cool. And yeah, overall, I thought the stages there was enough variety in them, and I really like that the simulation stages do a lot with, they have that like 80s synth wave look to them.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure you can see. Yeah.
I'm looking at like a training screen, I think, and it's got that neon synth wave, like classic with that sun and the lines.
Yeah.
That's
so
cool.
I feel like that stuff really works, right? Like when they're trying to do the like low poly kind of classic look and then mixed with the synthwave backgrounds, like that looks great. I don't love like the character portraits when those come on screen.
Yeah.
There's something about them that I just feel like they're almost too detailed, and it's kind of jarring, you know, mixed with the rest of the game. I also wish this game had voice acting.
Oh,
like,
it doesn't?
It doesn't. It has like the original Star Fox kind of thing where it's like gibberish, you know, mixed with some Spanish because it is a Spanish developer.
So it is like the like
and there occasionally you know some Spanish you will pick up on some words too, like you'll be like, oh, that's, but it does that kind of garbled speech. And my only issue with that is that there's so much going on screen sometimes that sometimes they're giving you important information. And like I'm just like, I can't hit this thing, like nothing's happening. And then I look down and I realize, oh, this guy's telling me what to do. I'm just not looking at it because I'm so focused on everything happening. So whereas in Star Fox 64, I would just hear it and do it. Yeah. So that is a little missed. I hope the next one they can do that. And obviously localizing that is difficult. So I do understand that. This game it's a Switch 1 game, but it has a performance mode. So when you play on Switch 2, it just unlocks the frame rate. So that's how I played it. It was great. Never had any hiccups with that. Throughout, no all range mode. So you know how in 64 at the end you might go into like an open range kind of boss fight. None of that. It's all just the on rails stuff. And then no multiplayer. So which at this stage of my life I probably wouldn't play anyway. But it is something to note, I think. Overall, I really like the way it does the upgrade structure and the way you kind of build out the game to fit your needs as you play. Yeah. And I do think it's probably pretty replayable. So I would recommend FUR Squadron Phoenix on the Switch and Switch 2.
I mean, it looks pretty cool. The colors really pop in these screenshots too.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at this still of like a large like skeleton.
Yeah.
That you're flying towards in like a desert scene, and just seeing all the different poly colors, like those green triangles, the UI with the crosshairs, like it's really visually pleasing. I mean,
it is.
And you can definitely see obviously the very blatant Star Wars, my God, Star Fox reference on that. It's cool, man. Like this is pretty sweet.
Yeah, I think it'll hit those notes you're looking for in a Star Fox game, while, like I said, doing something a little different to kind of mix it up. And the biggest compliment I feel like I can give this game is that I hope Nintendo takes some of these elements I'm talking about and implements them whenever they do bring Star Fox back.
I really should. Should bring Star Fox back.
But so I recommend FUR Squadron Phoenix on the Switch and Switch 2, and it is also on Steam if you're looking for it there. Finally, we've got out this week, March 3rd, we've got Scott Pilgrim EX for the Switch 1 and 2. Also on March 3rd, we've got Legacy of Kain Defiance Remastered for the Switch 1 and 2. And then big day, March 5th, Pokemon Pokopia on the Switch 2, The Last Ninja Collection on Switch 1, Planet of Lana 2 on Switch 1 and 2, Back to the Dawn, Switch 1 and 2, Poker Night at the Inventory, which actually I believe is coming back after being delisted, but that'll be back on March 5th. Racketeer DX for the Switch 1 on March 5th. Bulb Boy 2, Jar of Despair. Jordan will have some things to say about that one, I'm sure, in a moment. And then on March 6th, we'll get WWE 2K26 on the Switch 2. So what are you looking up there with Bulb Boy 2, Jar of Despair?
Just had to take a peek here. I don't even really know where to begin with this. Super odd looking. It reminds me of Adventure Time.
Okay, sure.
The different faces that this is making. I don't know. I've never heard of this. I have no idea what to expect, but maybe.
Yeah, I'm not aware of it until putting this doc together. So, but a lot of games out this week. I think it's going to be hard to peel us away from Resident Evil Requiem, but do any of these catch your eye? You are a Scott Pilgrim guy. I know that.
I am, but I feel like a Scott Pilgrim game comes out every fucking week. You know, I feel like. You know what I mean? Like I feel like there's Scott Pilgrim on this list so often.
I feel like this is like the second Scott Pilgrim game.
Really?
One, like,
oh man,
20 years ago.
I don't know. I feel like I'm seeing Scott Pilgrim a lot.
Okay.
You know? But no, Pokopia possibly. oddly interested, and I don't really know why. I just am.
I don't see the vision yet. I don't know. Like, I'm willing to try it. I am.
I don't know, dude. I have a bad feeling I'm going to play it, you know?
Oh, no.
I feel like it could happen.
Like,
look, come on. Like, I'm looking at it still right now. I mean, you are goofy looking, though. Like, you're whoever this avatar, like, that you are, I don't love it. But I'm looking at Charmander and Bulbasaur and Squirtle looking real polished and cool. Okay. I don't know, man. Like, there could be something here that could be fun. I just hate the avatar character. Like, that's enough to ruin that for me. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. But as we mentioned at the top of the show, we are changing how we do things a little bit. So this will be the end of this episode for you. But, you know, we have to figure out the cadence. And I'm sure we'll have something nailed down when we record next. But tentatively, I'm thinking this will release on Monday as it normally does, with our follow-up on either Tuesday or Wednesday. So we'll kind of decide what we want to do there. But you look for the follow-up, our Pokemon 30th anniversary discussion, on your YouTube or podcast feeds. You can subscribe to the show wherever you are. You can follow us on social media at PodWithPower. And until next time, I'm Zachary Davis, and that's Jordan Carlson. And we'll see you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.